The drama continued as our group of friends as a whole got much bigger. Instead of being in a group of 10 at the most, it grew to about 15 to 20 people. At times it wouldn't bother me, as I was a very social person back in the day, but then there were times I just felt completely drained, so I'd either be picky with who I wanted to hang out with on any particular day, or I'd just stay at home. I'd try and stay out of trouble, but most of the time though, I couldn't escape the drama. It seemed to follow me like a bad smell. There was a particular guy in our group of friends who now seemed to start calling the shots of what everyone was doing for the day. Honestly, it didn't bother me to start with, because I thought he was just like the rest of us. He was a few years older than us. I guess that's why he was better at making the decisions. He was a very resourceful sort of guy. He was good to have around when we needed mechanical help with our cars. Although I did start to notice that if someone had pissed this guy off, or he just didn't like you in general, he would do something to get back at you. It could be very small, or it could be massive. Well, this started off with one of my other mates, as they both didn't like each other at all. One late afternoon, me and some friends were parked at the boat marina. We were having dinner from McDonald's. We were spotted by the other mate, who drove into the car park and joined us. But my other mate was there, and of course, some certain words were exchanged. This pissed my mate off. He started his car up, took off, doing a burnout in the car park, and drove off. The other mate just sat there and laughed, so he kind of just went along with it. We all decided to relocate. We started to drive up to the headland, but on the way there, we see our other mate had been pulled over by the police. We didn't know whether to laugh or not. What did he get pulled over for? We drove past them and went and parked at the headland. 10 minutes later, my mate who got pulled over drove in and yelled at our other mate, "Cheers for dobbing me in to the cops for the burnout, asshole." We sat there with our mouths wide open, and our other mate just burst out laughing and said, "Well dude, you mess with me and you'll find out." My other mate was pissed. He took off without another word. I kind of started feeling really awkward now, not to mention paranoid. If that's all it took to make the guy do something like that, I had to be very careful. He liked me though, just like everyone else, so I guess I had nothing to worry about. Now, one of the girls in the group had introduced us to her new boyfriend. He seemed a bit shy, but he was nice. I'm not 100% sure if it was because this guy was new to the group or not, but our troublemaking mate decided to use this guy as his new target. First of all, it was a bit of bullying, but then it got worse. It got to the point of us all driving around, and our mate would start giving this guy and our girlfriend road rage and trying to run them off the road. Was it just supposed to be harmless fun? Or was this actually real? After we had stopped at this point, our girlfriend went and confronted the other friend. "What the hell is your problem? Why are you picking on my boyfriend?" He just sat and smiled at her and said, "He's a dick, you deserve better. Sorry you're in my way. You wouldn't be if you just dumped him." She turned around and told him to go to hell, and then they took off. Who was he going to target next? One night, we were back at the boat marina, and there were a few of us there. We were just hanging there, but then certain people started leaving. I then decided to leave and go home, but I decided to be cheeky and do a burnout as I left the car park. While I did it, I hadn't have thought of that certain friend dobbing me in, as I thought he liked me. I drove home and didn't think much more about it. The next day, I was on my way to work, and the next thing, I was pulled over. The police had informed me that there were reports of my car doing a burnout at the boat marina car park the night before. As soon as he said that, I thought of my mate dobbing on my other mate for doing the same thing. I didn't lie to the officer. I told him what I did. Luckily, because of my honesty, the officer just let me off with a warning and told me if I'm reported again or even caught, I'd be in more trouble. I didn't want to confront my mate. Actually, I didn't have to. The next time I seen him, he asked me if the police had caught up with me. Huh? I looked at him funny and said, yes. I then asked him if he had called the cops on me. He said no. Apparently the cops came to the boat marina not long after I had left, and they said one of the houses across the road had phoned in, but someone at the marina then told them that it was me who did it. Did he tell them that I did it? Or someone else? I didn't want an argument, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, okay, fair enough, all good. I didn't have a problem with the guy, it just seemed a bit sus was all. Maybe he was telling the truth after all, but something in my head told me otherwise. I tried distancing myself from him, but he was always there. I didn't have any issues with him after that incident.